All right, family, we are nearing the end of our series, but guess what? It is time to talk about one of my favorites, pasta. Now, with a lot of the low-carb diets, one of the first things that gets crossed off the list is pasta. And the reason for that is that the white pasta is made with refined flour. And let's talk about what that does to our body. A couple of things. First of all, refined flour really has very little nutritional value. It's also made up of high glycemic index carbohydrates. You don't have to understand what that means, but here's what you should know. Whenever you ingest a considerable amount of high glycemic index carbohydrates, what happens is that your blood sugar levels instantly spike. And in order to combat that, your body must produce massive amounts of insulin. This chain reaction is actually what ends up causing type 2 diabetes if a good portion of your diet is comprised of white pastas, white breads, and white rice. So that's why we want to stay away from white pasta. But that doesn't mean that you can't have a good old plate of spaghetti every now and then. Let me offer a piece of advice to you. Instead of the white pasta, I would recommend that you go with my favorite here. This is Barilla whole grain thin spaghetti. It is the same number of calories as white. It's 200 calories for 2 ounces. And one of the things that I want you to look for, even if you don't find Barilla, I want you to look. You see that little yellow whole grain label? I want to make sure that you look for a spaghetti or pasta version that has that label on it. That is the highest stamp of approval for whole grain. If you don't see that on your package, then that's not to say that whole grain is not in the product, but it is not the best bang for your buck. And you want to make sure that you get all of the nutrition that you can. And remember that that whole grain also helps promote a sense of satiety or fullness, so it reduces the chances that you will overeat. Now, I mentioned that this is 200 calories for 2 ounces, and you'll need to measure that out so you can get an idea of how much that is. But here's the bottom line, guys. Although I want you to enjoy pasta, I want you to enjoy it on occasion. This should be an occasional treat, not an everyday treat, because the calories, they do add up first. To be careful and cautious. All right, that is item number 4 on the list. I'll be back with number 5. I'll talk to you soon.